he would have grossed over $1 million. The problem is, Steve probably saw none of that money, which I'll get to in a minute.
So welcome to our tour video. Like, we didn't even know what happened to me. We didn't know, like, we got this crazy guy, Nick Dunlap, out of Cleveland, Ohio. He's like, I want to pay you a bunch of money to show up at spring break in Panama City, like, it's like, all right, dude, what do you want me to do? I want you to show up and get wasted, it's like, yeah, I can do that,
Literally getting paid to get wasted. What could possibly go wrong? He decided to turn this into a business venture, the Don't Try This at Home tour, with Wee Man, Preston Lacy, and some other jackasses. This was a multi-city tour where they traveled around North America to perform live stunts. After selling probably $1 million in videos and doing shows in front of thousands of people, on top of selling merch, surely they were making boatloads of money. Well, they were, but Steve was seeing none of it. The manager-producer of the tour, Nick Dunlap, told Steve that they sold the tour for $10,000. That was what Steve would split with Preston and Wee Man, making his take-home about $3,000 for the entire thing. On top of that, they were selling tons of merch every night, of which they received none of the money. It's very possible this tour was generating anywhere from $20,000 to $100,000 per night, and Steve left with $3,000 over the whole tour because he wanted to get fucked up.
So I'm working in Mexico in the summer and sold out the largest nightclub here in Mexico 3 weeks in a row. And I thought, man, that was cool. I was bummed out because I couldn't walk for days after that TV. And Nick was thinking, how the hell am I going to make this show happen night after night? But it had to happen, man.
How did he make the show happen night after night? Pure determination to be the worst and dangerous guy in the world. And I just don't think a sober person could handle that much damage to their body night after night. Steve-O compiled the behind-the-scenes tour footage into a video. Don't Try This at Home tour video. It displays exactly how crazy the lifestyle is. On stage and off. The stunts never end. The party never ends. 24/7, Steve-O is living the life of a reckless stuntman. Jeff Tremaine and the Jackass franchise is known for being very strict with pay. Nobody got to negotiate contracts. Nobody got royalties besides Knoxville. It was a get what you get, don't complain situation. The TV show only lasted 3 seasons. It got Steve-O pretty famous, but Jackass the movie changed everything.
When I found out that I was going to be presented tonight, I came up with the most amazing stunt ever.
Imagine shopping for a car here and making sure it's the one there and still being able to buy it from anywhere. Now imagine driving off into the
And I'm ready to do it. I told them. But they told me I'm not allowed to pull my weight around. Don't worry.
Forget the money. Steve-O was officially cool. He was the coolest guy ever. What was his last name?
Yeah, what's up, man? It's Steve Harley. No way. Hey, see the microphone? Yeah, do you think I'm cool? Yeah.
Swag all the drugs Steve was doing. The biggest drug to him was people's attention. Even if it was a little or a stranger for a hotel set. He drastically lacked attention from his parents and tried to get it from anyone he could.
Yeah, there's a video paid most attention to this one. I made it for my mom. Okay? That's why I'm happy.
There was nothing. He achieved exactly what he told her he would achieve, which he couldn't witness. On November 7th, 2003, Donna Glover peacefully passed away. She would have been extremely proud of herself. Luckily, Steve-O had some sort of stability in his life. He landed his own MTV show along Chris Pontius called Wild Boys. These two traveled all over the world. Would learn about local cultures and traditions, eat local foods, and interact with the local wildlife. By my description, it sounds like just another basic wildlife show.
That's what I'm doing.
It was anything but that. It was like real life Beavis and Butthead travel the globe in G-strings.
They're about $1,500 a pop. The cockatoo is the biggest ripoff in the pet store.
How much do they play? They have the most annoying voices in all of the world.
So 2K23, it's cool. The side animations are way worse. Subside shooting is terrible. You allow me to. But if I people retire, if Brian Tiger retire in a year or two, he's not. It will not. Who knows? No. Like Chris Paul. You know, Tiger. I don't think he's gonna retire. Lowry, no. Tucker's 3 years old. He gets one more year on his deal. He can't retire. That's not realistic. No way, bro. What's taking the Aussies under the top? Todd's not in the NBA anymore. Rondo. Al Horford? Are you gonna. Al Horford's retired this year? That's crazy. Al Horford's retired, but you see him like retired this year? You see him Al Horford's retired? He's not retired in the NBA anymore. He's not retired though. What? See crazy this is. So here's how retired 36, so Mike Conley doing. But look up his. You know, he does. Let's do it. Let's see. Kevin Love does. Kevin Love does it. But D Rose does? He's an idiot, so. Westbrook does as well? That's a terrible time to start, right? Hold on. See, it's fucking terrible.
The stunts were not as over the top, but equally as dangerous. This show was a great way for the mainstream audience to get to know and love Steve-O, because where they lacked in over-the-top, grandiose stunts, they made up for with humor and personality. Wild Boys filmed its last season in 2005, and without consistent work, Steve-O was about to enter his darkest years. 2005 to 2007 would be Steve-O's darkest times. His drug use reached an all-time high, and it's truly a miracle he made it out alive. His drugs of choice were ketamine, cocaine, nitrous oxide, Xanax, anything he could get his hands on, including but not limited to meth, video head cleaner, aluminum cleaner. He recorded everything during his time. He had a massive email list that he compiled over the years with his website. Steve would send videos of him on drugs, straight up vlogging, downward spiral to everyone he knew. At some point, he realized Nick Dunlap was taking advantage of him, but he released 3 major projects and 2 world tours before he realized Nick was getting filthy rich off of him. After traveling the world with his best friend and releasing 2 other videos, Steve was finally making money. Unfortunately, this wasn't a good thing. He's not a good drug addict with tons of money. This is the language. We got folks. I'm ready.
That's good. I'll go rest of his rings. I'll be resting on the team. The Robin is 4 rings now. What the hell? He will stop the time. I need another ring. You sure I don't. Why would you get a ring in there?
This letter is for you. From what I hear, you're supposed to be the next Tom Brady. You're not the next Tom Brady. You're the next you. Compare yourself to nobody but the kid in the mirror.
Like, one's your entire 2 years? That's no. I don't know. See, I was better sometimes next year. That's not. How was it retired though? And I knew Jack was retired for when he was a coach. Do I know? What makes the Hall of Fame, man? They would always make the Hall of Fame. What century is this? He's a Hall of Famer. Melo, just everywhere per annoying. You want him to the Hall of Fame? Yeah, let's be honest. Jack, don't play small games. Look at Melo, that team is going for getting the top 4, right? Yeah, I was 30 a game. Never. He was on the last. You never had.
He was out of control, danger to himself and everyone around him, and seemingly
Take
absolute
them off so
he was
they can
very
get
self-aware. He knew exactly why he was so messed up. He knew how badly he just wanted attention. He knew he just wanted his dad to be proud. He had too much pride to ask for help.
But he hasn't been good since 2014.
His dad
But
admits that he was wrong for being so absent in his life, but Steve never actually asked
oh,
for
big
it.
time
Steve
since
knew his fame was
Marcus
coming.
Aldridge not a Hall of Famer? What? He has better accolades than, let's be honest, who's better take? I'll take accolades over Melo. Melo's been good since 2016. He's been good. The reason why he fell off because he went to another team. He's still with the Spurs on the team, he loves him still. But the total player, this will be a top player, honestly, to this day. He left. He can honestly still be a top player. His age, his game, just NBA. He can hit the midi, he can hit the 3-pointer now. Yeah, he's making a Hall of Fame. No Sap, no. Rondo's a Hall of Famer. For time on station, that's the player right there. Come on, dude, he's a Hall of Famer. It'd be a 2-time champion, by the way.
Knoxville asked Steve O'Spotty to be there when they moved on. He said no.
I said, no, I'm going to come out, but I'm not going to
White,
come for the
the
intervention.
white is Melo. That was the things.
Jackass friends do a much better job without me than they could possibly do with me.
March 10, 2008 was his first day totally sober. After a week sitting in what feels like solitary confinement, Steve started reading a book on alcoholism and thinking about his life. He was defeated. He thought he was a lost cause. He thought nothing worse could happen, meaning the only way he could go was up. He was the perfect candidate for sobriety. He can only improve from here, and that's exactly what he did. Since that day, Steve-O has not consumed any drugs or alcohol. From the day I'm scripting this video, 5,248 days sober, 14 years, 4 months, and 13 days, 172 months. An amazing accomplishment. But after a few months of getting sober, the fog starts to clear. Steve realizes how much of a burden he was, how embarrassed he was, how much harm he caused to his friends and family, all the bridges he burned, all the terrible public appearances. He felt shame. He felt like he worked so hard to get sober, only to feel worse.
Very few people stay sober for a long time. It's actually like 5% of alcoholics, and the other 95%, I say, die drunk from causes related directly to alcoholism or respectable drug use.
The mission of staying sober is a lifelong battle. The toughness of that is grossly underestimated by people today. Luckily, Steve-O has a massive audience of people that still love him. Plus, he didn't just get totally lame afterwards. In fact, some people argue that sober Steve-O was funny because he was more relatable. He showed his fear on camera in Jackass 3D, which was hilarious. Throughout the past decade, he's still trying to outdo his old stunts and prove to himself that he can be just as rad while being sober. He rescued a street dog in Peru, Wendy, who became his life partner. He became a big animal rights activist. He now owns a small farm that he and his fiancée take care of. He went vegan for many years. He even went celibate for over a year to test his strength. He got arrested, sure, but that's because he was protesting SeaWorld. He started pursuing a stand-up comedy career, even releasing a special in 2001. He promoted it by duct taping himself to a building. He has an active YouTube channel and podcast that he uses to rehash all his crazy stories and experiences. He connects with people who are in recovery and does his best to extend his help to other friends and celebrities suffering from
I'll keep him for now.
He continues to push a positive message and be a role model for all people, let alone people struggling with addiction. It's a miracle that Steve-O is alive. The bravest, hardest, and most badass stunt he ever did was get sober and stay sober.
Let's see. Is Dwight Howard here? Dwight Howard and who else? Melo retired?
Listen, and give the people what they want. Never me.
He lives
One hit wonder is a term often used to insult someone, even though nothing really defines a hit. It's used to insult an artist who's only had one very popular, viral, or maybe Billboard charting song. I guess if someone is actively pursuing music, this is an insult basically saying they have already peaked and they won't ever outdo themselves, which is a pretty harsh burn. But what about someone who recognizes that they are a one-hit wonder and doesn't try to outdo their previous work? What about someone who embraces change and moves into a totally new career and becomes even more successful than their one hit? Today we are talking about Chamillionaire, a rapper who had one mainstream hit song, Ridin' Dirty, which gave him enough fame and fortune to escape music forever and move on into a new career where he would generate tens, potentially hundreds of millions of dollars. Look at all the jewelry, all the clothes, all the brand new cars, all the fancy houses. It seems like the general understanding of rappers is that they are filthy rich. Even your average upcoming rapper is probably flashing cash and flexing their lifestyle that they probably don't live. Most rappers are not as rich as they portray themselves to be. Fake it till you make it, they say. It's rare that these artists can amass tens of millions of dollars just based on their music. Why? In short, the music business is designed to get labels more rich, not the artists. It's often where rappers sign terrible contracts, do not own their creations, and only make around 20% of the revenue that it generates. Chamillionaire saw the trap. He experienced what it was like to have a label take advantage of an artist. One time he even learned the label was hiding $600,000. Funny thing about it is, he never started music to get rich. I know it's hard to believe that a rapper named Chamillionaire isn't all about money, but his name is inspired by him relating to chameleons. Hakeem Sariki was an introverted guy who was very curious and very observant. While attending Jersey Village High School in Houston, Texas in the mid-90s, he watched kids at school freestyling at lunch. He sat back for weeks watching. What made the crowd react? He thought he could do it better than them. He recognized that people would go crazy when you rapped about someone's hat or shirt, so that they all knew you just thought of the line off the top of your head. So he practiced freestyling off the top of his head to gain respect from his peers. One of those peers was Paul Wall. They grew up on the same street, knowing each other since they were toddlers. They both attended Jersey Village High School, and Chamillionaire always looked up to Paul. He was charismatic, someone everyone wanted to be friends with. But Cam was more of a background guy. He liked to blend in and observe. They started a group together called the Sleepwalkers. After high school and a bit more experience in the Houston, Texas rap scene, they rebranded as the Color Changing Clique. They had no management. Paul was the friendly guy who made relationships, and Cam was the hard-headed businessman. They thought themselves to be kind of like a good cop, bad cop, where Cam was the bad cop. They would book their own shows, sometimes doing them for free, just to get their name out there. They recorded mixtapes and printed CDs all by themselves with their own money.
You want me to write on a
City to
fucking
city
team?
selling. Cam even had a website in 2002 where he would sell merch, his own CDs, his friends' mixtapes. He had a mailing list that people could join, and even his phone number.
Welcome back, dorks.
You want to
And
the phone
welcome
team?
back, Abbott Elementary staff. Yes, and here we go. All right, now it is time to get this party started.
I'm ready to take the year off. Got it down. These first graders will know what hit. That's enough. Make your voice deeper. That is your goal. My work is done. Let it ride.
Listen, we don't have enough kids for a full third grade class, so now they go to you. How many extra kids? 10. I mean, great. Melissa, are you okay?
Being a teacher is being asked to show up every day and try our best.
Mrs. Harbury, I'm glad you're in one place. I have an emergency.
What's wrong? I'm curious. No, I'm out of here. This food, you eat like you took a cooking class to prison.
Sometimes friendship is the only meal you need.
Thanks for being here. I think of you like a young me.
I think of you like an old me.
This ain't A Star Is Born. I shut your tiny ass down.
It's gonna be a great year.
It is, isn't it?
This is exactly what I want for myself this year. I'm 100%.
Well, I guess somebody's got it together this year.
And I'm happy they're noticing. It's very zen, actually.
Let's go see what's in the cafeteria.
Abbott Elementary. Season premiere Wednesday, September 21st on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Just posted out there. He knew the value of the internet way before every other rapper. Here's Cam in 2012 breaking down the intricacies of his old website.
Okay, I'm gonna make a vault on my website, right? And in the vault, we're gonna have a leaderboard. So all of these fans are gonna do actions for me. I kind of use the military thing. My company is called Military, so we started doing levels and badges. Like, you can become a sergeant, a general, and all these different levels in the military. So now these fans have bragging rights. So look, this is some of the stuff I started putting up in the reward center. I put up a mixtape Messiah plaque. This is one of my mixtapes. I went and made a plaque for it. I've got the original painting from my second album. I've got the jacket I wore in the Riding Dirty video. The reward actually gets sent to the fan. The fan sends me the picture. I upload the picture for everybody, and he brags to everybody like, haha, let me be with the plaque.
The independent grind was rare at a time where most aspiring artists were focusing on getting noticed by a record label or another poppin' rapper. But all the major labels were based in New York or LA. So in Houston, Texas, they had to make their own way. Little by little, city after city, Cam watched his fan base grow in front of his eyes. All that grind, losing money for years, paid off in 2002 with the release of their first album, Get Your Mind Correct, which sold over 150,000 copies and was nominated by The Source as Independent Album of the Year. This album is a Texas classic and brought the duo to new heights. Unfortunately, all this grind and success just brought more animosity between the two. They each had different ideas for how to continue their careers, so they decided to part ways. Paul went back to the legendary Swishahouse label and collective, whereas Chamillionaire focused on being his own boss and building a solo name. He released his legendary mixtape Messiah in 2004, which was a 3-disc record with 60 songs. This went on to sell 40,000 copies independently. He started his MySpace page in 2004 and had millions of page views. At this point, he had a forum on Chamillionaire.com with 34,000 registered users. People would just go on here and chat about anything, like a private social media site. He had an email list with tens of thousands of fans who he could directly market his mixtape to. Not only was he willing to do the real-life grind of handing out mixtapes, but he also understood the value of social media and connecting with his fans online before it was normal. He started a custom car shop called Fly Rides. Most rappers are not buying the cars you see in their videos. They rent them for one day for thousands of dollars. Cam had tons of connections to rappers who needed cars, so he bought a bunch of them, customized them Texas style, and rented them to his rapper friends. Or if they wanted to splurge and buy one, he would be the guy they would go to customize their rides. He started a modeling agency called Masterpiece Mindframe, where he would get hip-hop video girls consistent work in the industry. And he started the Victory Tour Bus, where he would buy luxury tour buses with internet, cable televisions, showers, and rent them to his artist friends when they needed to leave the road. Cam was making big independent moves, but he knew he needed a major label if he wanted to have a monumental impact on hip-hop. He started his own label, Military Entertainment, and landed a joint venture with Universal Records. The joint venture was one of the hardest partnerships to get in the early 2000s, because he already sold 100,000 records independently. He had leverage. Plus, he visited literally every single other label and told them that he was comfortable with leaving without getting a deal. So Universal had no choice but to give him a good deal. At that time, most rappers signed royalty deals for a lump sum, let's say $500,000, with an 80-20 split favoring the label. But that sum is a lump, so they have to pay it back. The label would typically own the masters as well. Once a song or album generates $500,000, which in 2004 would be around 80,000 sales, with the average album cost being $13, the artist is no longer in debt, and will only earn 20% of the revenue. However, typically with a JV, you and the label are 50-50 partners. The label doesn't give you an advance unless you want it, but they spend all the money for producing, mixing, and marketing the album. Basically, they take all the financial risk and split the reward in half with the artist. Chamillionaire's first album, Sound of Revenge, released in 2005 and sold 800,000 copies in its first 2 weeks. If they sold it at an average of $13, that's $10.4 million. If the album cost $1 million to make, which is very possible considering the wide variety of producers and features on the project, he still would have generated $4.7 million in 2 weeks. By the end of 2005, The Sound of Revenge secured 1.5 million copies sold, but the single from the album, Riding, would go on to change his life.
I need to warn you about Proposition 30. Prop 30 is being advertised as a climate initiative, but in reality, it was devised by a single corporation to funnel state income taxes to benefit their company. Vote no on Prop 30.
Ride debuted at number 88 on the Billboard Hot 100 February 26, 2006, which was 8 weeks after the album dropped. It slowly climbed higher and higher on the charts until June 28. 4 months later, it peaked at number 1 and stayed there for 2 weeks in a row. The song sold 3.2 million ringtones, making him the first multi-platinum master tone artist in history. Yet, more sold. He won the Grammy Award for Best Rap Performance by a Duo or Group. Even Weird Al Yankovic's parody on this song, White and Nerdy, peaked at number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100 and was Al's first platinum record. It's safe to say that Riding was the hottest rap song in 2006. It was a hit.
In the game to get some money, man. That's my story, man. You know, I want to get my family out of poverty. Once my family doing good and I'm good, then people respect that. So
Cam's mission was very clear: get some money and get his family out of poverty. He made millions of dollars from Riding on his album because of his joint venture. His deal was so good, he probably made more money off this song and album than most artists do in their whole careers. There was no rush to keep dropping music. He did mixtapes with a passion to keep his relevance, but his eyes were set on something much bigger. His sophomore album, Ultimate Victory, went gold. He had a couple singles that did well, but nothing near the level of Ride. Like I said, he didn't need to work as hard selling records because he made more money from a gold record than someone who went 2 or 3 years platinum. But for the next few years, he just did whatever he wanted creatively. He stayed in touch with the base through MySpace, Ustream, Twitter. Most people give Soulja Boy the credit for being an internet rapper, but Cam was way ahead of Soulja Boy. He just doesn't brag about it. Cam tried to educate his haters, but they thought he was a He tried to teach them some game. Stay out of the club, stop wasting your money on an image. They didn't want to hear what he had to say. It was like when your dad turns everything into a life lesson. He was having trouble with Universal. They forced him to put out his Ultimate Victory record as a censored version with no curse words, so that Best Buy and Walmart would give him preferential treatment and put his album in front of 50 Cent and Kanye's. He lied to the public and said he wanted to do a clean record, but he was just obeying the label's demands. He's a few years removed from Ride, and they wanted to make millions with him. Venom was supposed to be his 3rd studio album to release in 2009, but the label kept trying to make creative changes, which kept pushing back the release. He was fed up with the music industry.
When I got into it, I used to think it was a lot of fun and have fun outside of actual recording. Like, it's the person who understands business that's the most successful.
This was Cam's mindset in 2009. He started attending tech conferences because he was a real-life example of using technology to make millions. He sat in the back rows, blending into the crowd like a chameleon, listening, observing. As more time went on, he made connections. Eventually, he got to be a speaker at a conference in LA to talk about how he used social media to advance his music career. One of the tools he used was Say Now. Say Now was a service where artists and celebrities could give out a phone number to their fans, and the fans could call or text the artist. Soulja Boy famously put his Say Now number in the song Kiss Me Through the Phone. Chamillionaire would connect the Say Now executives with the rappers that they wanted to work with. He was so valuable to Say Now that they gave him a little % ownership in the company. Cam was shocked. Ownership? After the company sold to Google for, quote, tens of millions of dollars, Cam knew his future was not in music. At that tech conference, he caught the attention of Mark Suster. Mark is an American entrepreneur and venture capitalist. He is a managing partner at Upfront Ventures, which is the largest venture capital firm in Los Angeles. Mark took him under his wing into the world of tech, venture capitalism, and angel investing. He invited Cam to private events with executives from Disney, Fox, Warner, media agencies, and startup CEOs. They even co-invested in companies. One of them was Maker Studios, which reportedly sold to Disney for $675 million. Chamillionaire was getting smarter. His friend Nelly told him about the importance of auditing the record label. So Cam hired Jay-Z's auditor to basically conduct a financial examination of the Universal and Chamillionaire joint venture. Turns out they were hiding $600,000. In 2011, Cam wanted out of his deal after not being able to release his 3rd album for 2 years. He told the label if they didn't end this partnership, he would teach every artist on their roster how to do an audit. Find out how much money the label was withholding from them, so they let him go. To the fans, Cam was still dropping mixtapes, but to him, he was done with music. He was ready to dive into the tech world. He got his friends, Big Boy from Outkast, Trey Songz, E-40, all to get interested in this entrepreneurship world. In 2015, he became an entrepreneur in residence at a VC to immerse himself more in the tech world.
Entrepreneur in residence is a venture capital firm, and I will go in there and sit in there every day, basically be involved in all the pitch meetings. When pitching to a venture capitalist, I'll be sitting in the room just listening.
He invested in Lyft before they went public. Lyft obviously became the 2nd biggest ride-sharing app to this day. He invested in Cruise, which was an autonomous vehicle company that was acquired by General Motors for over $1 billion. He invested in the doorbell company Ring, which was acquired by Amazon for over $1 billion. Chamillionaire has established himself as a savvy investor who sees the potential in companies. For the past few years, he's been working on his app Convos, which is a social video app for genuine conversations with real people. Today, Chamillionaire has invested in over 60 companies, one of them being a hot sauce company, Sienna Sauce. His portfolio is diverse, not just focused on big tech. The ironic thing about all of this, despite Google saying his net worth is $50 million, and that he's probably the richest one-hit wonder of all time, he doesn't want people to get caught up in the money. He's leading by example on how to build wealth, how to play the long game. You won't just jump into Silicon Valley and become a multi-millionaire overnight. Since 2002, Cam has been ahead of the curve. You saw the websites he was building. You saw him on MySpace and Twitter before everyone else. You saw him selling ringtones, landing a joint venture, and working with Say Now. He knew Spotify was going to take over the music industry in 2010 before it was available in the United States. Cam was always focused on the future, while every other rapper was throwing money in the strip club, buying chains and cars. They're still doing that in 2022. They're stuck maintaining that lifestyle for what? Instagram. Look at what he wears now for $50 million versus when he was a rapper worth just a few. Chamillionaire didn't let the world define him as just a rapper. He got his fame, notoriety, and first fortune through music, then leveraged that to build a second career as a tech investor. Then he used his knowledge as an investor to become a founder of his own app, Combos. I'm not sure what Cam's next one will be, but I'm sure he knows. We probably won't find out until a decade later.
I'm gonna try to get
My dad taught us what he really meant was code switching.
Welcome to the next episode of Here to Help.
If the pandemic brings about the end of the open office, I think that will be a blessing.
When you think of the term SoundCloud rapper, who comes to mind? Juice WRLD, XXXTentacion, Lil Uzi Vert, Playboi Carti, Trippie Redd, maybe Lil Yachty. You probably think of face tattoos, colored hair. Maybe you think of it negatively, like being a SoundCloud rapper is a bad thing. Chances are you think of SoundCloud rap as something nostalgic, something that once was. With a slow and steady rise to popularity peaking in 2016 and 2017, SoundCloud rappers had their distorted bass and auto-tuned melodies permeating throughout the ears of listeners all over the internet. Misconceptions about SoundCloud rap have existed since the beginning. SoundCloud purists would argue that the ones who were the most popular in 2016 were actually just taking advantage of the work put in by the rappers before them. But in 2022, SoundCloud rap's grip on hip-hop culture has had a sad decline, making it about as relevant as it was in 2011. SoundCloud rappers were not exactly accepted with open arms by hip-hop in the beginning. In the early 2010s, it was clear that trap music and melodic rap were taking over, and the older generation could not accept it. This inspired a generation of young artists to create underproduced, bass-heavy, and melodic hip-hop and post it on a free-to-use music distribution website. Most of these artists focus on making feel-good music, and were not trying to create poetic masterpieces. They were just having fun, and the fans could feel it in the music, which is what made it so special. It was around 2016 when SoundCloud artists started to dominate the mainstream. Music from the likes of Lil Uzi, Lil Yachty, Kodak Black, and 21 Savage piqued the interest of mainstream listeners. And although these are considered some of the legends of SoundCloud, they wouldn't exist without those who laid the foundation before them. Make sure you drink your water while watching this video. I know you're thinking to yourself, man, the hoodie looks comfy. I just released my first collection of clothing through my brand Comfort. I wanted to create a brand that prioritizes quality, comfortable clothing at a reasonable price. Simple graphics or no graphics at all, because that's my style, and also pushing a lot of positivity and good energy without being totally corny. All the products are cut and sew custom and not just purchased from some wholesaler. And I guarantee you this shirt will be the warmest and softest hoodie you own. And if you're watching this video months or weeks in the future, check out the website. See what our most recent drop is. Raider Clan, an internet collective company associated with starting SoundCloud rap. We can't talk about Raider Clan without talking about Odd Future. Yes, collectives and groups have been around in hip-hop since the 80s. Odd Future was truly ahead of its time. Led by Tyler, the Creator, the collective started with 6 of his friends in Los Angeles, California. They loved 3 things: music, clothing, and the internet. You can throw skateboarding in there too, which ended up being the 3 most important things to SoundCloud. Over the years, the group kept getting bigger and bigger. There are so many members, it's almost impossible to keep up with, similar to the Wu-Tang Clan and Raider Clan, which we'll get into. Odd Future started with an anti-industry attitude. Signing a record deal and being on popular radio and MTV was not the agenda they were pushing in 2009. Tyler would take shots at pop culture, kind of like Eminem did a decade earlier. Obviously, they would go on to achieve massive mainstream success. TV shows, Grammys, Billboard. They created a different lane that nobody had really capitalized on before. But initially, they were just a bunch of LA kids who used the internet to post their early creations to the world. Raider Clan, whether they admit it or not, kind of came second to OF. Odd Future had a much more colorful, bright, fun image. Raider Clan maintained a much more gritty, underground, and definitely anti-pop culture attitude. Stylistically, aesthetically, and musically, they were nothing like Odd Future. Actually, they were kind of the opposite of Odd Future. They were just similar in the way of being an internet collective. Space Ghost Perp founded the Raider Clan in Carroll City, Miami, 2008, taking inspiration from the dark and ominous soundscapes of the early 90s group 36 Mafia. Don't be confused by the palm trees and sunny skies. It was dark growing up in murder gardens. So SGP used the music as their fuel. Black Web Radio 66.6 became an iconic project that inspired a new generation of talent. SGP started getting love from creatives all over the country. Sid from Odd Future would even play songs at their shows, which introduced the LA scene to him. He caught the likes of the ASAP mob in New York, Herb famously flew up to New York and performed a candlelit seance, inducting ASAP Yams and ASAP Rocky into Raider Clan. Raider Clan was recruiting musical members all over the states, becoming a collective that was more of a cultural identity than it was an organized group of musicians. ASAP took a lot of creative influence from SGP. They went with a much darker sound, using the mythological lettering like the Raider Clan did, using chopped and screwed beats, deep pitched down vocals, wearing golds in their mouth, and embracing southern swag. Being from New York, this was a wildly different approach since most New York rappers were inspired by Nas, Biggie, 50 Cent, MF Doom, and others. The Raider Clan and ASAP mob there are a few different stories. Some say they were a fight, some say Space Ghost punched an ASAP camera guy. Either way, it was something small that probably could have worked out very easily. But SGP would go on to claim that ASAP Rocky got his whole style and swag from him and Raider Clan. Even Playboy Carti was taking sides with Raider Clan. That didn't age well. Space Ghost Perp was a bit volatile. He had a falling out with just about everyone he ever came in contact with. He was known for being extremely bipolar. In true underground fashion, he claims that he was the first to do everything, and everyone bit his style. Yes, he was definitely influential, and I do agree paying homage to those who came before you is very important. But trying to gatekeep and take credit for someone else's entire career just because you did something similar before them is lazy and whack. The fallout with ASAP was terrible for the Raider Clan. The two groups had potential to be the biggest in the industry, but SGP's unpredictable nature and beefs ended up shortening the legacy of the group. And we know ASAP's legacy just got bigger and bigger. But ASAP's influence, and really everyone else that I'm about to talk about in this whole video, didn't just come from Raider Clan. It came from someone else I must mention, Lil B. Lil B's Like a Martian track in 2009 sounds like what SoundCloud Rap became in 2017, but at the time, the internet clowned it. The crunk era of the mid-2000s led to the swag era spearheaded by Soulja Boy and Lil B. Lil B's music was very punk in the way that he followed no rules of flowing, rhyming, or song structure. He prioritized ad-libs and made them louder in the mix. Then rappers all throughout the 2010s made careers off iconic ad-libs. He started the mentality of, I'm just having fun making music. I'm not trying to be lyrical, I'm not trying to impress anyone. He rapped about sleeping with your girl, being pretty, and having tons of swag. Those were his priorities. This became the blueprint mentality for a lot of internet rappers for the next decade. But there was another side to Lil B. A lot of people thought he was just a joke, but he took himself very seriously. Because people hated him so much, he developed a cult-like fan base of people who loved him so much. He pushed a lot of positive messages. Be yourself, be confident. Take care of the earth. Usually when he got into his deeper, more meaningful lyrics, it was complemented with an ethereal, dreamlike beat. This was the beginnings of cloud rap. Cloud rap is a spacey, hazy, and almost nostalgic sound that rap was missing at the time. Flames Casino was also one of the iconic producers that linked up with Lil B to help create this sound. SoundCloud rap would end up being this blend of the cloud rap ethereal sound and the dark, gritty 3-6 Mafia influence sound, and sprinkle in some emo in there too. I also feel like I have to mention this. At this point, around 2010 and 2011, these guys weren't only on SoundCloud. In fact, it wasn't really that popular yet. They used basically any streaming service that was out there to get their music heard, DatPiff being one of the most popular, and eventually SoundCloud and YouTube would become their main platforms, but the
live sports news. So I saw this post yesterday from Jan Edit. Shout out to Jan Edit. Who was the best player in the class of 2025? And when I saw it, I wanted to jump immediately up and make this video. I wanted to do it. But then I wanted to just sit back and see top players 2025. Number 5, I'm going to go Jameer Jones. The thing I like about Jameer Jones is he's crazy athletic. Can he improve his jump shot? Yes. Can he improve on other facets of the game? Yes. And I think he'll even tell you that. But me, myself personally, I'm a sucker for athletic players. And once he combines the athleticism with skill, it's going to get scary. Number 4, I'm going to go Trey McKinney. Trey McKinney is a player that I remember from the North Coast Blue Shits playing with Bryce James. And when I saw him this past year, hit the growth spurt, got the swag with the dreads, he hitting spin step backs, not selfish, willing to do whatever it takes to help his team win. I think he got a chance to be the next big thing out of the state of Michigan. Number 3, I'm going to go Cameron Boozer. It's just something about a player that has a dad that was in the league, that wasn't a perennial all-star, and they can give them that secret sauce, that extra ingredient of what it takes to get to the top and do the things that he didn't get a chance to accomplish. So he's learning from his father, and he got the skill set to go along with it. Hammer and Boozer, he got the best of both worlds. Number 2, I just got hit to this player a couple of weeks ago, so I'm not going to come on here and act like I know it all about him. Koa P. Played 17U for Compton Magic, dominated. I checked out his workout on YouTube, checked out some of his high school scrimmage highlights. Listen, this kid is fundamental, and he got a crazy skill set. And if you grow to be like 6'11" or 7 foot with the skill set that he got now, my God, it's going to be scary. But I'm still doing research on this kid, so I don't know it all. But from what I see, he got it. Number 1, I'm going to go Darren Peterson. Now, y'all may say, yo, D-Rich, you only saying Darren Peterson because he from your way. He from my way, and he got it. He got it. He played at his own pace. And that's what I love about him. Can't nobody speed him up, and can't nobody slow him down. He gonna do what he wanna do, get his shot off, and create. He don't get sped up. That's what I love about his game. And I done seen him work out with pros and keep up. I seen him in the gym grinding. I seen him play 17U, 16U, 15U. He got it. So in my opinion, he's the number 1 player. These are my top 5. I know some of y'all gonna come on here and I'm gonna get some phone calls, people cuss me out, saying why my son ain't on here, why my son ain't this, why my son ain't that. This ain't ESPN, this ain't Rivals, this is my 5.
Fashion is getting a makeover. Watch and make your own on YouTube Shorts.
No, I really can't play. I ain't all over the 7 months. Yeah, so next week, that's I'm not going to next week. That was a good play. So, about this new one today. John got Murray, he's here today.
Game day, and this weekend is the Arizona Cardinals as the Raiders look for the very first win. They lost last week to the Chargers. Now we look forward, and this is a Cardinals team, James, that we saw lose badly to the Kansas City Chiefs. Gave up 44 points to the Chiefs. What was your first impression of the Cardinals?
Man, my first impression was if you are a Cardinals fan, you are ready to hit that panic button right now because they did not look good on any sides of the football. You see this? They got after Kyler Murray. They did not look good on the offensive side of the ball. And this scares me because number 1, you have an offensive coach. Number 2, you had months to prepare knowing that DeAndre Hopkins was not going to be there and you still couldn't be productive on the offensive side of the ball. And I'm telling you now, they might have the worst defense when this season is all said and done in the National Football League. They cannot rush the passer. They try to bring a lot of pressures, a lot of blitzes to try to
get the
pass
grip.
Ooh. Back in.
You know what? Okay, we can't do that.
This team right here, they in trouble. And they're going to be in trouble on Sunday.
Well, one of the things that they would try to do is get the passing game going a little bit more. Kyler Murray only had 179 passing yards, and the receivers, you know, we already know they're without DeAndre Hopkins for the first 6 games, but Rondell Moore not expected to play this game, so this could be trouble for the receivers. Greg Dortch was the leading receiver for the Cardinals. This could be an opportunity for the Raiders secondary.
Yeah, I'm looking at Greg Dortch. I'm looking at the guy next to him too. too, right? If you want to have any success, you're gonna have to get Hollywood Brown involved in your offense. The Raiders, they must have eyes on Hollywood Brown, because if it's any guy that can really blow this game open, it's Hollywood Brown. And Kyler Murray knows that he's the number one target out there right now. You're gonna have to find ways to get him the ball. So Raiders, on the defensive side of the ball, you need to have your eyes on him out there at that wide receiver position, because we know Hollywood Brown can run, he can create explosive plays with yards after the catch. You want to keep your eyes on him and don't let him be the guy that has a chance to beat you.
And you know that Kyler Murray was not happy about his performance in Week 1, and he was asked about whether or not that was a wake-up call for the Cardinals. Here's what he had to say.
You wouldn't be like that. You know, at home, game one, it's gonna be a wake-up call for whoever, you know, felt complacent or whatever. Internally, you know, looking at better individually, and you know, do you really want to be here? Do you really want to be great? Like, what drives you? Like, those are the questions I feel like, you know, need to be asked.
The triangle.
By the way, Andy Isabella also will be out there for the receivers. So yeah. So Kyler Murray, if we look at last week, what the Raiders failed to do against the Chargers, it was contain Justin Herbert. He was a mobile quarterback, but he ain't nothing on Kyler Murray when it comes to escaping the pocket. So how are they going to be able to contain Kyler Murray? Can you? He's pretty dangerous.
Oh, you can, and what they need to do is they need to take a little page out of the Rams book, right? They know how to play Kyler Murray really well. The two edge rushers, Chandler Jones, right? Mad Max Crosby, right? It's not all about the sacks in this game right here, right? We want to get after the quarterback, but we want it to come from the middle. We want to push the pocket. We want you to contain on the outside. I want to show a couple plays right here with Kyler Murray, because this is when they are the most dangerous. Right here, Kyler Murray, really good. You see the penetration up the middle, but he's able to escape. His eyes are always down the field, and he uses his legs really well, right? Excellent job right there by Jones, getting some penetration. You got to tackle and bring him down. Right here, man, Max, you cannot do this. You see Dunlap coming in here, giving up the outside contain, letting Kyler Murray get outside the pocket and find his receiver, Zach Ertz, down the field. Again, right here, you see Randy Gregory. This is good right here, but don't beat your head inside, because now you let Kyler outside the pocket. He's one of the best in the National Football Leagues at getting outside the pocket, making throws and making runs. Raiders defense, Chandler Jones, man, Max, do not let him out there, because that's the only chance to truly have some real success making explosive plays in this game.
And you do know Chandler Jones now in the silver black. He used to wear red, so this is a revenge game of sorts. Even though he chose to leave as a free agent, he came over to the silver and black. Remember, he had that huge game against the Titans Week 1 last year. We had 5 sacks. Wondering to see if he can do something like that this week. I know it's going to be very difficult. And he did. And you know, Cliff Kingsbury knows him very well, and he was asked about Chandler Jones as a pass rusher.
Obviously a freak. He's physicality and special talent in that regard, but he's always thinking about the next move and the next play and how he's going to beat a guy and how his hand plays with him. He hits and clips, and he's watching guys. I can get him on this, I can do this. I mean, he names his pass rushes. I mean, he's eaten up by getting home in the pass, but I think that's what gets lost, because he's such a talented player. He's very cerebral. He puts a lot into the mindset and how he attacks it mentally each and every day. He did. There was one called Snapchat, I think. That was pretty good, yeah. I think it was called Snapchat, yeah, because it's like you see it and then it disappears, apparently.
You see it, and then it's gone.
So basically what Cliff is trying to tell the world right now is we're going to be all eyes on Chandler. We're going to be chipping. We're going to make sure he ain't getting none of them Snapchats on us. We're going to make sure we are protected. So Mad Max, single block, come get it.
We're going to talk to him coming up a little bit later in the show. Sit-down interview with Chandler Jones. But next, it is Josh McDaniels. How challenging is the offense?
Sustainable investing at Fidelity. We're looking for companies that are successful, not in spite of their commitment to sustainability, but because of it. We bring clarity to sustainability. The
Silver and Black Show is brought to you by Cox, proud partner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Allegiant, the official airline of the Las Vegas Raiders. Low fares, non-stop flights. Book now only at Allegiant.com. 1800, the best taste in tequila and official partner of the Raiders.
Rolls to the far side and punches there, steps back and throws, and it's caught by Moore.
He's a really good passer. You know, he can access all areas of the field with his arm strength. He's very accurate. He can put the ball in a tiny area easily. And so our coverage needs to be on point the entire day. We need to be disciplined with it. And our rush discipline is really going to be a huge factor in the game. If you make a mistake in the pass rush, then all of a sudden he can turn into their best runner. You know, they have some good runners. So once we allow that to happen, you know, now we're in chase mode, and he's faster than most of our guys. So even when you have your opportunities, whether it's a sack or a tackle, you have to wrap your arms and hold on and hope for somebody else coming with you. So our pursuit to the football, our effort to get to it this week is going to be important, not only with Murray, but their entire group of offense. Can't wait to see what this atmosphere is going to be like. The guys are working extremely hard to prepare and get ready to go out there and perform our best so far this season in our home opener. And we know they're going to be there and droves and create an advantage for us. And we're looking forward to giving them an opportunity to cheer for 4 quarters.
So Josh McDaniels looking for his first win as head coach of the Raiders, and he's excited to have the silver and black out there, the black hole Raider Nation. You know they're going to be loud, but also the defense of the Arizona Cardinals. It's going to be a focus it's an opportunity, I shouldn't even say focus, it's an opportunity, I think, for the Raiders offense, because 54% of the time last week against the Chiefs, Vance Joseph blitz. Can they do that with Devontae? Can you afford to go one-on-one man coverage leave him on the outside with Devontae Adams?
You can't, but I don't blame Vance Joseph because he doesn't have a pass rusher that can get there. But you cannot bring a lot of pressure after Josh McDaniels and Derek Carr. They are watching this film right now. They're breaking it down. They know exactly where you are coming from. And if they know exactly where you're coming from, if you bring them blitzes, it is going to be chase mode for the Arizona Cardinals defense the whole game long. And we want to show you some of these blitzes right here that the Arizona Cardinals do, because our O-line and our running backs are going to have to be on a string. Right here, you can see they disguise this stuff very well. 2 guys off of the edge, right? But the O-line does a really good job. Hank gets the ball out of his hands. Travis Kelce finds a soft spot. Big game, first down. Right here, you see again, right? They got 5 guys up here, but they run a stunt. They run a stunt
Fans
with the
change the
linebacker.
channel. Doris, has the league done enough to discourage intentional fouls?
Every form of media, to me, BA, is trying to capture the imagination of their fans. So anything that enhances your product is something that, in the long term, is going to do well to you.
Now here's Wall.
And you can tell right there, the defense is totally fine with him shooting that. That's not his game.
Damian Lillard out there with Wagner. Then it's DeMar DeRozan. Then there's Rudy Gobert. And it's Levine in at the 3. That's the 5 out there for the Bulls. Just 4 to shoot. Drops in the 3. Lillard's got 11 points in the quarter.
Moving off the ball. Lillard spotting up, knocking it down.
Here's Wall. It's blocked by Gobert. Here's Lillard. Oh, the cut by Lillard.
Ooh, bouncy. That should give him a nice lift.
Good timing. They needed that one.
Well, sometimes it's about taking it into your own hands. That kind of individual play could spark his group.
Here's Hernan Gomez. It's blocked by Gobert.
Remember, Rudy Gobert has got a 7'9" wingspan. Sometimes it's just easy picking some of it back.
And another great assist. The offense is really clicking now.
Now here's Wall. It's blocked by Gobert. From deep, Mobley. And he can't get that one. Now Chicago takes it the other way. Here's Levine for 3. And again, it's the Bulls from deep. And a chance to catch up on some numbers here. The hustle stats for the Bulls.
Their defense has been on point all game long. They're out hustling the shooters and swatting down some of their shots.
And you also have to love the way they've gotten out and run in transition. A ton of good chances tonight simply from being willing to run the floor.
The defense is nowhere to be found guarding the three-point shot.
Levine against Wall, and Gomez sets a screen. Wall on the take, and it's going to be a goaltending call here, so they will count the bucket.
Yeah, it was just a little late. I mean, he thought he got there, but the ref saw it otherwise.
Now a timeout called by Chicago. Giannis Antetokounmpo is checked in for Wagner. And from the sideline, let's catch up with Allie.
I was able to listen in on what Chicago's coach was going over with his team. He laid into the team about being over-aggressive. He said, quote, "You're letting them get to the line as much as they want. We've got to dial back some of the physicality because it's getting us in trouble. Guys, let's see if they can ease up here."
Great work, Allie. Thanks. Now here's Mitchell. On the take, and he drops in the layup off the glass. Mitchell's got 30 points.
This guy has been a catalyst for them all game long. What a job leading them to this lead.
Back to Antetokounmpo. Here's Levine for three, and a great assist by Antetokounmpo, and that one goes in. Antetokounmpo has got his ninth assist of the game now. Mobley, a screen on Lillard. Here's Wood, and Gobert with a block.
They've been dominating the boards tonight, yet it's still a close game.
Here's Levine, and Levine throws it down.
This guy is big time, unafraid in the moments that matter most. Levine, big time.
And the Cavaliers call time here.
Protecting the rim has to be their top objective right now.
And the question they're going to have to answer to me is it a problem with the scheme or is it a problem with matchups?
Here's Mobley. Hayward outside. And he was fouled while in the act of shooting, so he'll take 2 free throws.
Well, this is a space you do not want to allow Gordon Hayward to get. He has been a lights-out free throw shooter his entire career.
Both free throws good from Hayward.
This is about the last guy you want to send to the stripe right now. They keep fouling him, he keeps making them.
And stolen by Mobley. Outside Mitchell from downtown. And it's Chicago with a board. Gobert's got rebound number 19 now. Incredible.
Well, multiple-time winner of the slam dunk contest, Levine has got a creative streak.
And that replay courtesy of the AT&T 5G Slam Cam. And it's Mitchell, the miss. Chicago trailing here. Here's Lillard. And the dunk by Lillard.
It's game time. Whenever this team needs a big shot, he knows how to get one.
There's a minute 54 left to play in the fourth. Mitchell against Levine. Puts it up. And another miss by Cleveland.
He's fallen into a bit of a slump this quarter. How quickly things can turn.
Here's Lillard. Oh, and they take the lead. Lillard's got 40 points.
You expect big numbers from Lillard on offense. His productive habits always seem to pay off.
From deep, Mitchell. And it's Gobert with a rebound. Gobert's got his 20th rebound here tonight. Pass to Lillard. The three from DeRozan. And again, it's the Bulls from deep.
This is why they want the ball in DeRozan's hand. This guy is stone cold under pressure.
The three from Mitchell. It's rebounded by Rudy Gobert.
I understand why he took the shot. They need the points, but that's just not a good look.
And there it is then. And now a 7-point Bulls lead.
They're beginning to take control now, and this could be a crucial point in the game.
Well, working hard, building out a small lead, but you can't afford any kind of letdown here.
Don't do anything silly. Just ride out the clock.
Yes, if they take their time and execute, the game is all theirs.
Just 5 on the clock. And he buries that one. Back rim and in. And the Bulls lead by 9.
stepping up and nailing an important shot to put this away.
Yeah, playing with great energy and great effort. And as a coach, you'd love to see this from your team every single night.
To halt the run. Rebound by the Bulls. Just let the clock run out.
Hey, it's time to celebrate.
Now 5 seconds separating the shot clock from the game clock. Lillard outside. Lillard double team. The three.